Hey, Dr. Kimberly. Holy mackerel, it says we're live, but you seem discombobulated or
Just
verklempt or something like that.
Oh my gosh. Our show today is about finding peace in the middle of a pandemic, and yet we have a millennial here, Briana Chrissy. Yes. 24, 25?
24.
She is 24 years old, Dave. Those are our children's ages. So just
Yeah.
a little context. Oh, good afternoon. You are rolling on the road with Dr. Kimberly and Dave. And one of the crazy things I think is so cool about StreamYard is that it'll tell you are backstage and the producer will let you in like I'm a big deal. And so we click this button and everybody gets to come on stage and it says that you're on stage, and we look really professional because we've got this wonderful ticker tape that has all of our guests' information on there today. But we were having a moment because the show is supposed to be about finding peace in the midst of the pandemic. But I found out that today is the anniversary of Brianna's grandmother's death. And Dave and I both we're still there. I think in that grieving process, we lost parents within just a few months of each other. For myself, my husband's sister and my father died 10 days apart. And so while we were at her funeral, everyone came to my house and we helped get everything together for the funeral. And while we were there, the funeral director came over and said, "Can we see you for a minute while they're having the family hour so that you can pick out a casket for your dad?" And that was just a lot. And so, I mean, she was so chipper on the phone, Dave, when we talked for the, precursor interview today. And then when I saw her, I said, "You look a little melancholy. What's wrong?" And she says, "Well, today is the anniversary of her grandmother's death." And I said to her, there are many that think that we don't have the same, there's no connection. One of the words that have been tied to the millennials is that they're selfish and that it's all about them and that they have no regards for others or the lives of others. And yet there is such an old soul in this little bitty body. And the first thing that I thought about was Robert Haggart. We had a show a few months ago with a young man, I call him a young man, who is a world-renowned radio announcer. And he started a business called Elevator A Go-Go. And one of the first persons that he had on there was Robert Haggart. Robert is 72 years old. So while Dave thought, because we both can be a bit comedic, that it was going to be full of comedy and mayhem. But look at what I played for her before you came on, Dave. And we're going to play a little bit of that.
We've been that way to live with God. No more. We've been waiting. No more. We've been waiting. No more. We've been waiting. I'm going home to live with God. Soon I will be done with the troubles of this world. The troubles of this world. The troubles of this world. Soon I will be done with the troubles of this world. I'm going home to live with God.
In honor of your grandmother on today, he is 72 years old. And you did the Black History program at your church last February?
Yes.
In 2020?
Yes.
That meant you were 23 years old when you did that. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Elijah, coming on, Lord.
Heavy.
You can't tell me that 23-year-old wasn't feeling the same thing that 72-year-old. It came from a place. It came from a place.
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to say. You know, I mean, it's to sit in the beauty of the silence and that connection to that place that you mentioned.
Yeah.
When we talk about just the chaos that is going on now and finding peace in it, when you have so many that are ready to commit suicide, those who suffer from depression, it's been exacerbated, and those that suffer from anxiety, it's been exacerbated.
Mm-hmm.
But you found a place at 23, at 24, to find a peace. There has to be a relationship, a connection to sing Elijah Rock. Elijah Rock, that's a song that comes from the very depths of your soul, from having had life's experiences, and know that God is my rock. He is my sustainer. And we give respect to all religious or non-religious beliefs. You know, we pay homage. There's noise someplace.
Yeah.
We got an open mic somewhere. Sounds like a mighty rushing wind. Let's make sure that everything was closed there. But there's just a place, and I think there's a level of maturity that comes from knowing that you are sustained as a person emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Tell us about that place.
Okay. Well, I'll say the past 3 years for me haven't been the easiest. My grandmother was one of the closest people to me. She was one of the people who like really raised me. Our relationship was very tight knit, and the things that she instilled in me, and even through circumstances, knowing where my help cometh from. But it's different when you say those things, but then when you actually have to go through it, like when you have those moments. And I know, like, well, with me being a millennial, and a lot of people may feel like, oh, well, you're young and you're supposed to be free and you're having fun, and maybe you don't go through as many experiences. But I've been through some very um, life-changing, traumatic experiences, that I had to gird up that strength or find some sorts of I'm going to be okay, or help to know to get to that point. I've had to sing myself happy, or I've just had to kind of tell myself or speak things over me to um, overcome the feelings of suicide, overcome the feelings of death, overcome the feelings of not wanting to be here, be present, not just physically, but like mentally. And I found healing through music. Um, I do have so so it's funny that you said that, but even the experiences that my grandparents went through, me being the oldest and having to take over and take responsibility and be strong. So yeah, it does come from many places. Yeah.
There's a song that you sang that I asked you when you're in your dark place.
Mm-hmm.
Can you sing that song now for me? Can you do
Yes.
that for us? Okay.
It's crazy because I was just thinking of another song too. I have many songs, but one song that I sing, it's called "I'm Alive." I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. And this is not an accident. I'm alive because there's more. I'm alive because there's more. 'Cause I just can't give up now. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy, and I don't believe he's brought me this far to leave me. Yeah.
Well, there were a lot of hearts that were going up. I'm watching the hearts just go. Dave, what has it been like for a lot of your, we don't want to call them clients, but I think we call them consumers more so, but I think there should be a better word. But to hear her say there are dark areas, feeling depression, thinking about suicide, and finding that song, isn't there an organization that I think is helpful with that? Was it in music and arts? Arts in Motion.
Arts in Motion. and it's always, reaching out to the Mental Health Foundation. It's, labels are labels. I prefer to call people friends. And sometimes we say participants or consumers, if we have to label people for funders. But yeah, I mean, and when you say, wow, sorry, when you say depression and I hear Briana sing, I saw it was somebody made the comment, I don't know if it was a meme or a Facebook post, but just that depression is the worst named thing. Because it's like, I mean, I think we've said this before, Dr. Kimberly, like, the Pirates lost last night, my baseball team, I'm depressed. I get over it, right? But the depression that Briana spoke about and the depth of your music, Briana, to reach into that place of darkness that is dark, and to use that as a lifeline, others pulling you out, you pulling others out with your music. Again, that place, I mean, just to call it that place, but that place of darkness and the journey to that place of light. So, wow. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I know my grandmother, and I guess it was instilled in us as children. My grandmother is a pastor, big on affirmations and speaking over yourself. I've been singing all my life, me and my siblings. We used to sing songs that we probably had no knowledge of. Like, or probably couldn't, I'll say, comprehend, maybe couldn't have like related to our life at 8 years old and 9 years old, singing I cried my last tear yesterday, I've been through heartache and pain, or encourage yourself in the Lord, things like that. But then thinking about what was instilled in me as a child and kind of grasping wow, okay, I was taught this, so now that I'm an adult and now that I'm going through these things, now I can remember that song, or I can remember that I can speak over myself, or I can remember that, hey, yeah, I may feel like this, but this is temporary, and there is light at the end of the tunnel, and there is a next, and there is more. So I'm very grateful for that. Of course, life still happens and things happen, but just all you really need is just that small thing to remember, and that's what keeps me going. So
I keep looking to make sure I'm muting. I don't know if I'm the one causing the rushing wind chaos. But when you talk about those songs that we reach out to, my tradition is, I'll just say, less exuberant within the Catholic world. And so we don't, but back in the old days, I used to play a little guitar and sing a little bit with others at our worship services, and sitting with some of that music, if it's religious music, if it's secular music, music grabs us.
Yeah.
There was this wacky guy named Thomas Aquinas that is pointed to a lot within the Catholic Church. And he had once said, to sing is to pray twice. So that doubling up of our efforts to connect us to that place. Because the place is there. We're the ones who, together, do we choose to go there or not? And song brings us together. Even if we're singing alone, it brings us together. As you said, reminding you of your grandmother, and just those resonance pieces. And I'm just going to keep, I could go on about, there's a song within the Catholic world called On Eagle's Wings. And it is just always requested within funeral liturgies.
Yeah.
And again, because it speaks of that place, it speaks of us being together here, now, then, there, and all that mixes together. So anyways, yeah, we are soulful in a different way.
Yeah.
I won't say we're
and
not soulful. We're just soulful in a different way.
Yeah, and I definitely agree because honestly, I love all genres of music. I'm a R&B artist myself, and I just came out with a project in March, and I feel like even the things that we go through, us expressing them in any form can help bring somebody out or can help with healing in general. And I know my project, I actually included things that I clips, old videos, and I wrote everything on my project. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with um, God, but I made it purposeful that it's universal so that anybody can relate to it. So if you want to talk about God in my songs, you can. If you want to talk about whoever you worship, you can, or that friend or that loved one, whatever. Because I really feel like I know one of my goals is so that we're God, not really boxing in um, healing or not boxing in where people may feel like, oh well, she's talking about God, because I know certain types of genres everybody can't relate to, but having something where everybody can relate to and connect to, that's very important, because we all go through things. So that's one thing that we all have in common. Everybody goes through things in life. This life is not easy. So
The time is now 4:22, and we want to say thank you so much for tuning into Rolling on the Road with Dr. Kimberly and Dave. Today is Thursday, September 2nd. Can you believe it? We are in the 9th month of the year, and we're still rolling on the road. We have been doing this for 17 months. We want to say thank you to the Deaf or Hard of Hearing. Thank you, Laura, for coming and filling in today. There was an emergency, and so I want to say thank you for freeing up your time to fill in for our regular. Thank you so much. And thank you to Disability Advocates of Kent County and to 100 Shades of Disability that support us in all that we do. They sponsor us, and I tell you, we have great latitude to be able to afford a guest such as Briana Chrissy, who is a millennial. She is 24 years old. And if you did not hear in the beginning, please go back or watch the replay, because we are live on Twitch, on Twitch, YouTube, and 3 places on Facebook. You really got to go back and to hear the quality of her voice. We played Mr. Robert Haggard. We want to say thank you so much to Elevator A Go Go, because that's where we did get that from. So shout out. We love shameless plugs here. Whoop, whoop. we like shameless plugs around here. And so shout out to Elevator A Go Go. And Robert Haggard was the first singer that they got. He's in this old shaft elevator singing. The acoustics are just phenomenal. And to give a little back information, Robert had just had a stroke. And so he was still in recovery when he sang. He was still in recovery. And to hear that, and then we played a clip of Briana singing last February and singing a famous Mahalia Jackson song, and to hear in a 23-year-old voice the same thing that we're hearing in a 72-year-old voice, the confidence, the reassurance was just phenomenal. I mean, so when you sit there, nope, there's nothing wrong with your TV. It is not broken. We were all caught up in the moment. And we hope that you'll be caught up in that same moment. And I would dare to say that's probably what has given you peace during this pandemic. One of the things that we talked about earlier was how millennials really communicate via text messaging and short memos and messages with a WhatsApp or the little yellow one, Snapchat, and those things kind of disappear or don't stay around. But some of the things that you're doing are stick and stay things. This is not something that you're throwing up against the wall and let's just see what sticks. I mean, you're coming from a place of great maturity and history in your approach in life. So can you give us a couple of things that has really helped you to maintain during these last 17 months?
Sure. I looked at it as, I know one of the things I did starting out as a moment to really grow in my craft. I stayed really busy and growing my gift and also like really kind of mapping out what it is that I want to do, but also giving myself room to like fully try new things and create with being a creative. That's one of the things that I really took advantage of doing during the pandemic. I'm usually a busybody, always doing things, always doing something. So I looked at it as I was being taught how to rest, how to stay still and not feel like, hey, I'm not doing anything, like that. Self-care, giving myself room for self-care. I didn't know how important that was. So that's another thing that I did and I took advantage of. Still taking advantage of, still learning myself and giving myself grace and moments to have those days for self-care.
You know, that even saying self-care, Dave, do you hear that? That's stuff that we talk about. We don't ask me the last time any of our children, we collectively have we collectively have 6 children. We've been in each other's lives for 10 years. we each have 2 sons and 1 daughter. So there are that's 2 girls and 4 boys. And I don't think that I've heard them say anything about self-care, especially not the little millennial ones. So I'm thinking
because it's, unfortunately, the word self, people hear self and they hear the ish right behind it. It's like that self. No, it's not self. It's self-care. Mm-hmm. Somebody once said, I can't remember who said this. They said, love your neighbor as yourself. And whoever that was, if you're not loving yourself, how can you love your neighbor, right?
How can you be able to give out anything?
Yeah. And somebody else, not that first person I mentioned, somebody else once gave me a definition of burnout is you get burned out when you're giving away what you don't have.
Yes.
Wow.
So people who are like just alive, they're not getting burned out because they're giving life. But people who aren't taking care of themselves, right? They're giving away what they don't have, and then they're going to burn out. Mm-hmm. So self-care is that recharge, and self-care is self-defined. Some would say self-directed.
Yeah.
I really take ownership of that self-direction. just really, really do. How have you been able to influence your other millennial friends to adopt your philosophy?
I would say just through my walk and how I approach life in general. A lot of my friends are like, Bree, you are so strong. Just based on all the things that I've been through. But I know for sure I don't do anything special. I am who I am, and I am very confident in, I'm confident in knowing that I don't have to be like everybody else. Confident in knowing that, although the things that I go through, they build character. And I also know any situation that I go through, hey, this is temporary. I'm not going to always feel like this. And I know not only is it temporary, but everything happens for a reason. So all things work together for my good, regardless of this is just part of my journey, it's part of my story. I won't always feel like this, I won't always be going through. And so that's what gives me fuel to just pick back up. And I know for sure that, my friends, they see that and they're like, I don't understand, or but just by me getting up and doing things daily, positive attitude, pouring in to people, loving on people, being loyal, I think that's what inspires and encourages, and even going after my dreams, and not taking no for an answer. So I think that's a philosophy I would say that my friends have adapted to, and they're like, I guess they would be inspired by. But that's just something that they tell me, like, if it was me, but like just to see you get up and keep going no matter what is inspiring. So yeah.
I know some adults that don't want to do all of that. Let alone say you're a millennial and that's what you're doing. We want to say hello to Maddie. She is watching all the way from Arkansas. And I saw Shayna is on here. She is watching from Maryland. And we have Tracy Walls, who is a United States veteran. I believe she's an Army vet. And she's watching all the way from the DC area. So I'm excited. All of you who are tuning in and all those who are watching us live on YouTube, I see you popping up over there. We thank you for your comments and all of your hearts that are going up. I'm just amazed. And that's not even, enough verbiage to express what I see in you. And even though you're just a little melancholy today, because I know you are all grins and giggles. I checked on your social media.
I'm a qualifier.
Also, all of the ways to contact Briana is scrolling along the bottom. Yes, we have moved up. We're like CNBC. Mm-hmm. We have a phone number, an email, all of her social media outlets. One of the things that I saw as I was perusing is that you have REM sleep is that good sleep that we're all supposed to get. And as we know, there are studies out there now that since we have been in the pandemic, that's one of the things that's not happening for people. And it, is getting that good REM sleep. Because part of it is that we spend too much time watching the news and it's all doom and gloom. Unlike us, I mean, we have a plethora.
We have the whole array of emotions.
Yes.
We'll get to doom, but not today.
Yeah, and that we're just too inundated with all of this sometimes. We're scared to move to the left, to the right. What do we need to do? And, we can hear the verbiage on both sides, but at the end of the day, when you get ready to go to sleep, your brain is so full that you just don't get to be there. But I think that you might be doing something about that. You want to talk a little bit about that? Or as we say in our church, press on in. Come on now. Let's press on in on that.
Well, my journey with REM has been a journey. I decided to, that is the title of my first project. And I decided to incorporate what I learned about the REM stages of life, like REM stages of sleep through stages of life, the things that we go through, and combine the two. I'm really big on. Uh, I'm very descriptive in like illustration type things. So I believe, you know, in life we all go through different stages, and I kind of also tied it in the REM stage. That is where the dreaming occurs. That's one of the deepest. That's the place where you know, you have visions, you have dreams, you have all of those things. And so like I just tied it all together. Like I said, I believe we all go through life. We all go through different stages of life, but they all come together to make something beautiful. They all come together to make something meaningful. And yeah, I was able to really kind of incorporate just, I'll say, a brief part of like some of the things that I've been through and bring it to create a body of work that I feel like everyone could relate to. Whether you're spiritual, whether you're non-spiritual, whether you're talking about a brother, whether you talk about a friend, a lover, and I put it all through music, and that's how I came up with REM. Yeah.
I love it. So, are there just some pieces that are instrumental, and maybe you're scatting along with it, or is it all?
So I feel like I know when I dream, for some reason I feel like, sometimes our dreams like come together. It's like a never ending thing. And that's how I wanted my projects to be. I wanted people to like go through and feel every little thing. So like the songs are connected. It's very musical. It has a lot of musicality in it. So not just vocals. My grandmother's voice is in there. Yes, there's. This is actually my shirt. He gives us dreams, he gives us visions, and he instructs us through our circumstances. Um, you'll hear that on the record. This is actually her voice and from a message that she preached. And so I incorporated that. I incorporated me and my siblings singing in it, but everything just flows together. I
What is
highly
your
encourage.
favorite
Hmm,
song off there?
whew, uh, it kind of fluctuates. I love the whole thing, but I'll say my favorite song is Gravitate. That seems to be a lot of people's favorite song. And Gravitate it's a love song. But the thing that I love about it the most is that you can literally sing about it to anybody. It's not just directed to your lover. It could be directed to a friend. It could be directed to God or whoever you worship. And it just seals the entire project. Like it's the last song on the whole project, and it just seals. And then towards the end of the song, where the music kind of builds, it's like it's cycling all over to the beginning of the whole project. So I love the song. It's very beautiful. It's melodious. It kind of gives a little like, you hear like a whole band feel of it at the end, but it also has modern feel to it as well. Yeah, so that's one of my favorite songs.
And it is available.
Yes,
It's
it's available on all streaming platforms. So you can find it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you're streaming, whatever you use for streaming music, you can find it on. It's called REM, REM, and then by Briana Chrissy, my name above. So, yeah.
So we need to go and buy that real quick, and let's see what we got going on here, Dave.
Yeah. Let me know how you
I'm
like
looking here.
Did you pull it up? Because we can always.
I'm not that fast. It could be a day or two by the time I find even Spotify, let alone.
It's on YouTube. You can type it in on YouTube as well.
The YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
I found it.
Did you find it?
I did.
Is there a song you can play from there?
Well, I don't know if it would come through very well, but
Well, guess what? If you found it, what song did you find?
I found the whole album. Of course, I have to play a TV commercial.
Well, guess what? I don't
Got
have.
to pay the bills.
I don't have. Let's see. A commercial on mine.
I get 2 commercials. Double bonus. Hopefully, Briana, you're going to get a lot more money from Spotify as I make my way through these commercials.
I'm just grateful for you listening.
He is.
NyQuil. Let's see, like, I hear him like,
Are you serious?
Tell me what you want and tell me what you need.
is it coming through all right?
'Cause it don't matter what I feel. I give you what you want and I give you what you need. But you don't see what I feel. I'm tired of feeling all this trial. Tell me why I am feeling numb. Oh, now I see that time's up. Sometimes had me bound. Tell me why I am feeling dumb.
Okay, folks, head to Spotify. If I can find it, you can find it. It's, yeah. How do I add it to my library? Ready to go.
Yeah.
And that's how we roll here.
Exactly.
That's how we roll. That's how we roll.
Wow. You know, yeah, we could just hit play and just.
Yeah, you guys are fast too.
No, but I'm just saying, we hit play and just like let it roll, and that's all we need for the rest of the show, because it's that's self-care. Yeah. That song was sounding like a. Go ahead.
I'll say the project, it is great if you want to just have a moment to just take in life, meditate, have those self-care moments. And the titles of the titles of the songs, they're pretty funny, but they actually incorporate with sleep. Like the first song is called Insomnia, and then it goes into NyQuil. The third song is Moments. The fourth song is Other Side of the Pillow, but it's going to say OTSOP.
Exactly.
And then the fifth song is 1820, and that's the one dedicated to my grandmother and grandparents. And then the last song is I'm missing one. Running.
Which one is dedicated to your grandmother and your grandparents?
Yes, it's an interlude. It's called 1820.
18.
Yeah, so 18-20.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. 18. Y'all bear with 18-20.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say by Briana.
Chrissy.
CHRISSY.
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly what I meant. It's asking me if that's what I meant, and it didn't. Where did you find it? On Spotify?
I found it on Spotify.
Yeah.
And then I just found it on the YouTube.
You know what? You said, oh, you are funny. He said, I found it on the YouTube.
The YouTube.
The YouTube. That's what us old timers call it.
Well, you know, my children tell me all the time that we know your age because you say the YouTube.
The YouTube.
When you put what did they tell me? When you put the in front of anything, it makes you old.
Everybody's got their own.
I don't think that's you. I'm on your YouTube page. I subscribed. And do I go to your channels or your videos?
So it's the topic channel. If you just put in Rim by Briana Chrissy, the whole project will pop up, and then you'll see the 1820 when you scroll down. And then it should be 18-20.
I put in Rim, I put in and it just says available on all platforms. But I think that it is it's that 1 minute video.
Yeah, that's the promo video. If you put in how are you putting in 1820? The number, like put it in like as the number.
That's what I said. 18-20. It says this channel has no content that match 18-20.
If you type in topic, it should be under well, don't type in topic, but if you put Rim by Briana Chrissy, REM by BRIANA Chrissy CHRISSY, and then the whole thing will pop up, and then you should be able to find the interlude.
Rim is one big word, and there it is. Oh, there's NyQuil, insomnia. Oh, there's the pillow, and there it is.
There it is.
He give us dreams, he give us visions, and he instructs us through our circumstances. Hallelujah.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
What's your favorite hymn? Or congregational?
Congregational?
And we're going to leave out with that. You singing that out.
Oh. You can give me one. I have another good one.
Blessed Assurance.
Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a fortress of glory divine. I forgot the words right here.
I'm an heir of salvation.
I'm an heir of salvation. I'm following you.
Purchased by God.
Purchased by God.
Born of his.
Born of his.
Spirit. I'm washed in his blood.
Washed in his blood. This is my story. This is my song. Praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story. This is my song. Praising my Savior all the day long. That's the only part we usually sing.
Thank you for tuning in to Rolling on the Road with Dr. Kimberly and Dave, and we will see you on next week.